Welcome back to Silver State Trains. Just thought I'd do a little update video. As you can see, I have the fascia board is all installed on my layout. Right now it's just kind of tacked in place, so if I need to in the future, remove it to do some scenery work, it's not screwed in or whatnot, I can easily just pry it off. Let's see, what else do I got going on here? I cut in the access point here for the tunnel. So what I'm probably going to do is get a little small hinge and another piece of this board here to put over it, maybe with like a little fancy knob on there or whatnot, so it'll be a nice covered door so you don't see the foam or the track or whatnot and the awful cut job there, but that'll make it cleaned up nice. And then I plan on getting some kind of dark brown caulking. Again, so you can see this is kind of moving around, because once this is more permanently installed, possibly glued and screwed on, then I'll get a dark brown caulking and fill in this seam here, or maybe I'll get a little piece of wood and do a nice little end joint here or something. Not quite sure. I know I've had some people ask me about doing a train camera. So as you can see here, I did pick up a train camera. It finally came. It took a while to get here for whatever reason. It's supposed to be Amazon Prime 2-day shipping, but certainly wasn't. I'm still waiting on the micro SD card that I ordered at the same time. That's still MIA at this point, so that'll be here at some point. We'll see. So look for those future videos. Oh, I also don't remember if I touched point on this already. I got the tunnel. I cut this. This is 1-inch foam that I had cut down. I cut it in half. And got it so it fit nicely. It's nice and flush with my fascia board here, and then I cut out the tunnel piece. I may come back in and cut the foam a little bit more inside there so you don't really see it much, since this will be kind of covering up the opening, but we'll see. This is just kind of resting in place right now. It's not glued in, as I'm still going to need to do the ballasting later on and whatnot. And then, sorry for the scrolling there, but under the layout, I've done some cleaning up. I know it still looks like a big mess of spaghetti that's fallen off the plate, or whatever you want to call it, but it is tidied up. It's zip tied in. All the switch wires are all zip tied up out of the way. It's relatively neat for what I can do with Kato wiring, since I'm not cutting any of it, making it fit perfectly. Whatever the length of wire I have is what I have. That way it's reusable. I haven't cut any of it except for the feeders for my DCC, my DCC system. These have all been cut with different ends put on for the bus wire. But my DC side, which is all over here, I didn't cut anything. So it's a full length cable with the Kato connector still on there. Same with my switches. They're all 100% intact, zip tied out of the way. That way I can reuse them or what have you. So I have that all tidied up. I know I say tidy up, and you're probably looking at this video going, what is this guy smoking? This is terrible looking. But you can't see it from the front, and with what I have to work with right now, it's the best that I can do. So I'm taking it, calling it a win for my layout. And the other big news that I have is I have DCC systems. So my dad very nicely surprised me with the NCE power cab unit here, and then a reviewer, Bob, very generously mailed me his Power Pro system that he no longer needed for his layout, because I believe he mentioned he's going with Digitrax with the unit that he's currently building. So thank you very much, Bob. I greatly appreciate it. So what do I intend to do with 2 DCC units? So what I'm planning on doing, as I'm going to be using the power cab as the brains of my operation, but I'm going to be using all of these components except for the Pro brain, which is this unit right there. So I'm not going to use that just yet, because this will be a little bit easier to plug in for me right now. And also, if I was to fully utilize this system here, I would need to get some more of the NCE kind of dedicated phone cables, whatever we want to call them, to get to fully hook up this system. So I'm going to use the power cab as the brains. So this unit here uses this handheld unit as the brain, which then plugs into the PowerPoint, which I have, or PowerPort, which I have already installed on my layout. So I'm going to use this as the brains of my system. I will then use the controllers, possibly if I can even do the wireless, we'll see, to kind of get me going. And then what's nice is I have upgrade capability. So if I find that I believe this is a 2 amp system. If I find I don't have enough power with this system, I can simply use the power cab control unit right here, which then this will then be turned into a pro unit, the handheld unit, because this will no longer be the brains of the system. And I would have to use this unit here. This would be now the brains of the system. So I can use the pro controller, the previous power cab controller as two different controllers for my layout, but I would then have 5 amps of power. So what's nice is I have options where I can grow this layout. So I'm excited about that. I'm also really excited to try out this controller here. I'm thinking about using this as my yard controller. I've heard really good things about this particular controller. I do like how the throttle is kind of a turn dial, if you will, as opposed to the Pro controller and the power cab, which is this little thumb wheel. So I am excited to try that out. So again, a huge thank you to both my dad and Bob for generously providing these units for me. I greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you so much. So let's see, what else do I have coming for this layout? Oh, okay. Just in case anybody else is new like me, this unit here, this is the NCE power port, I think, or I may be calling it wrong, but anyway, this is what's going to plug into your bus. Users beware, this does not accept 12 gauge wire. And as you see here, my bus is 12 gauge wire. This is too big to connect to this. So I have already ordered, I think I ordered 16 or 14 gauge wire, I don't recall, but just stranded wire, because I'm going to be going from this unit. I'm planning on ordering the NCE switch, so that'll enable me to control my layout, as well as a programming track, which those need to be separate. So I'm going to have the wire go from this unit to that switch, from the switch to a circuit breaker. Then from the circuit breaker, I'm going to mount a, what's it called? Those little strips, terminal joiner or something like that. I'm going to run it to that, and then my bus will be attached to that. So that's how my layout's going to be wired. But I'm going to be waiting a week for those parts to come. So I'm kind of dead in the water right now. But that's what I got so far. All right, I did have a question for you guys watching, if you could. So these cars here, these 4 box cars, those are Athearn box cars. They're the 50 footers. They all connect very nicely to one another. Now, I'm having an issue where I was sitting here trying to test out my track here now that I've put in 26 feeders running a DC system. I was trying to hook up my Kato SD70 here to my Athearn cars. And for whatever reason, I could not get them to hook up. I tried hooking the SD70 to this blue car here, and I tried hooking it to the black car here. It was no go. I had to put this Bachmann 40-footer car in between, and then finally the Kato would hook to that, and then the Athearn cars would hook to this. So why am I rambling on about this? So my question, are the Kato couplers that come on the Kato products, are they any good? Should I be looking at switching out the couplers on all of my engines that are going to be running freight cars? I'm not going to bother with my passenger line cars because it's Kato to Kato. So whatever, good or bad, they can be good or bad together. But here, since I'm going to be mixing, Kato, Atlas, maybe even Athearn engines with Athearn cars, my plan is to stick with this particular brand cars. I figured as long as I stick with a brand, no matter what it is, whether it's a gondola, a hopper, a box, flat car, whatever, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're going to have similar couplers attached to them, or at least if I stay with current new release stuff. That's my plan. Hopefully it's a good one, or maybe it's flawed. I don't know. Let me know. But anyhow, should I be looking at replacing the Kato couplers? And if so, what would you recommend? I don't recall what these Athearn cars came with. Let me go check real fast. Okay, so I ordered these 4 Athearn cars from Horizon Hobby. And looking at the packaging, it looks like they come with the body-mounted McHenry knuckles, which are spring couplers with the magnetic uncoupling, yada, yada, yada. So it looks like that's what these particular Athearn cars come with. Now, I don't know if all the Athearn cars come with that, or maybe this is just a special line for Horizon Hobby, which I don't think I'll be buying freight cars from Horizon Hobby in the future, just because I want to say these were nearly $39 a pop. And I bought these last year, so in December-ish, maybe November, sometime around then, I had bought these. So not that there's anything wrong with buying these from Horizon Hobby. It's just I don't see them go on sale. And when they do have sales on Horizon Hobby, the Train stuff is never really affected. So I just have found better pricing with like Train World, Midwest Hobby or something like that. I just have found better pricing elsewhere. I mean, I was very happy with my order. It came quick. It was nicely packaged. Just the pricing was considerably higher. But again, I don't know if this is a special line for Horizon Hobby only. But anyhow, going back, what couplers would you put on the Kato? Would you leave them alone? Anybody else having this kind of issue? I mean, I was literally short of mildly slamming the car into the engine here. It would not hook to save my life, no matter how much fiddling I did with it. Let me see if I can just get it to replicate right here while I'm on the camera. So it's not wanting to line up. This is very hard to do one-handed, but moving that over a little bit. Of course I knocked it over. Okay, let me change. I'm a righty guy, so I'm trying to do this with my left hand. So let me switch up here. Okay, holding that over. Okay, see, it was in there, but it wasn't. Okay, see that? It's in. Okay, but it's not connecting. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know, is it user error? I know I'm new to the hobby. You guys are probably looking at this video going, probably laughing at me like, what, knowing the exact mistake I'm making. Or this is a legitimate issue with, for example, the Kato couplers just not being potentially the greatest in the world or not, or I don't know. But if you guys have any suggestions on that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just save my sanity sitting here trying to hook these up together, and they are just not going. And then I also had another question, if I may. Sorry for that. So I do have this little space right here, and for those of you who have been doing, model railroading for a long time, this is my yard that I have here. So this is pretty much where I'm going to be able to store, get ready to send out all my operations that I'm going to be running for freight cars and whatnot. But this is also where I have space to put all the various different freight engines that I have. I currently have 2 Kato SD70s. I do have one Kato switcher. What is that? The M2 or something. I just drew a blank on the model number. But anyway, I have right now 3 engines. I'm planning on getting more. So I have all this space to put freight cars to send out, receive, and to store my, or park my freight engines. So my question, long-winded here, would you throw a switch in here, diverting some track over here to another switch to have, a spot over here to store, keep some freight engines? You think that's not useful, not needed? Do you see any potential issues with this current layout that I have here? I know with this being my first time ever making a layout, I already know that I would do things differently with my next layout, but this is what I have to work with right now. I'm in it too deep to turn around. So, but I can, you know, add in some more stuff while I'm here. So just curious, is that something that you guys would do? Is it needed? Is it not necessary? What's your guys' thoughts? I'm open to suggestions, because being new to the hobby, I am not able to foresee future problems until they hit me in the face, which I'm planning on doing another video of lessons I have learned, because there's been a few. I'm sure that some of the new people that are watching would be interested in that, and might be a good laugh session for the people that have been doing this for a while and going, yep, yeah, we tried to tell you. And I know. I should have listened sooner. That's why I'm doing DCC now. I'm learning from some of my mistakes here, you know. So, but anyhow, I'm sure this video has gone on long enough for now. But yeah, this is where I'm at right now. So I'm going to be kind of paused for the next week while I wait for wiring to come in so I could fire this puppy up with DCC. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And again, a special thank you to both my dad and Bob for providing me with a DCC system. And if you haven't already, guys, if you could please subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So, you know, again, thank you to all the viewers who are watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it. And with that, you all have a good day.